Good morning, everybody. This is Belgium's top-rated podcast, LOCPOD.
Are we really, though? Are we really still Belgium's?
What are you, like, questioning me, man? I'm sitting there, like, trying to build up our show to the public.
Trying to get everyone excited, and I'm bringing it down?
You're undermining me, dude.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I'm just bringing it down.
Welcome to LOCPOD.
Let's just sign off.
Yeah, let's do that over. Can we do it over, John?
Yeah. Pow!
Pow! Hey, by the way, I just want to say right off the bat, thank you to Powering America, our premier sponsor.
Pow!
Yeah, they're a big supporter of LOCPOD.
How was that?
Pow, pow!
Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America.
I feel like you just said that.
With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs. For renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle chargers and solar power solutions, trust the electrical professionals of Powering America.
Pow!
Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org. That's poweringnorthwestindiana.org. We wanted to say thank you right off the bat to.
Can't you give us a pow? Your pows are so.
No, I'm just trying to last night we had a meeting, the state of the pod.
Don't ask how.
I thought
we confirmed that Steve Kellogg has done nothing. It's basically is I think the gist of the.
Oh no!
No, I'm just kidding. We love Steve.
I thought it
was actually good to see him. I don't think I've seen the guy since he got the checkbook.
Same.
I swear.
Same. Poor Steve. He was actually a little bit pissed at the meeting, I think.
No,
he wasn't.
Did you think that?
No, he didn't. He wasn't pissed at all. I thought we did good. I mean, I thought we had made a couple big decisions last night,
which we will not announce yet.
Ooh,
we're not there yet.
Bigly.
We're not there yet.
No, about the conversion?
We haven't decided.
It's going to be huge.
I thought we did decide.
John, did we decide if we did?
Are we going to talk about this now?
I don't know.
Let's ask the audience what they think. Seriously, we were thinking about, this is season 4. We were thinking about transitioning in season 5 between a hybrid between Facebook Live and YouTube, and then rolling into YouTube in season 6 and never looking back. Basically, getting off Facebook Live, which is something... I think it's a potential for us to be bigger, like expose ourselves to a wider audience.
Like getting out of Facebook, too. I mean, given all this crap.
But we do have a great Facebook audience.
Go.
We do have a great Facebook audience, and we don't want to disrespect them.
No, we never want to disrespect
We just want them to watch us on YouTube now.
We just want you to transition to YouTube, which we'll work on next season. But we're still in season 4.
Right. But so I thought last night's meeting was really good. We also realized how important Powering America is to LOCPOD. That's why I wanted to start off the show today and say thank you.
Thank you to Dodie Russell and all the electricians at Powering America.
That's right.
Our premier sponsor.
Seriously, it makes our job a lot easier. Our job of making money for Steve Kellogg so he could travel the world.
Welcome back. By the way, it was nice to see him back from France.
He's in the chat, by the way. SMH.
Yeah, SMH.
Poor Steve.
Steve's there.
But anyway.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, man, I had a busy week traveling around.
Did you?
You were with me.
I was.
Yeah.
I've never seen that part of Indiana, personally. I know you have, but I have not personally.
Things you're never supposed to say when you're campaigning.
Well, I mean, I just haven't been down to Richmond.
It's great to be back in Wayne County. That's how you roll, dude.
That's it.
Like I went to Richmond, visited Earlham College.
What a nice campus.
Yeah. Gorgeous, right?
Nice little corner of the world.
We got a chance to talk to the students, and they're students from I met a few students from California, a couple
Turkey, China,
right? Yeah,
yeah. They have a big international.
The young man who lined up our visit was from China.
Yeah, from China. Yeah.
I mean, and then asked me my position on the filibuster.
How about that? He's on top of things.
Yeah, that was no. He is on top of things. I'm glad he asked me.
You got to meet the president of the college, but just by chance, right?
John, I told him that the filibuster is not in the U.S. Constitution, and I don't support things that aren't in the U.S. Constitution. And if I become your senator, I'm going to vote to get rid of the filibuster.
It's a procedural.
You heard it here first.
It's the truth too. By the way, it's. I believe in things that are in the U.S. Constitution, and we're like bending over backwards to try to satisfy a Senate rule that's been in there for, let's say, a century. But
if that. Right.
Like I think it was the early 1900s, right?
I bet you're right. Yeah.
So the fact is, why did we do that? If you want the filibuster to be part of the Senate, the way I see it, let's amend the Constitution and put it in the Constitution. And if that's the case, I'll support it. But if we can't put that in the Constitution, there's no guarantee that future generations are going to follow that rule.
I think it would be a weird thing to have in the Constitution, but it's as a procedural rule, I think it's weird. Just get rid of it. I mean, if that's what you feel, just get rid of the procedural rule.
Well, the thing is, Kevin, the thing that bugs me is it seems like we follow it sometimes and we don't follow it sometimes. And that's the case. Is like you can't do that if it's in the Constitution. Well, if it's in the Constitution, you just follow the rule.
That's true,
right? So, like, what I'm saying is, let's say right now we don't pass voting rights legislation. Right now, let's say we don't get infrastructure or whatever the president needs. Right. And because we can't do it because of the filibuster, right? And then 2 years from now, let's say the complete Washington D.C. scene changes and it's ruled by the other party, and they say we don't really like this filibuster rule. We're not going to follow it anymore. Then why did we sacrifice when we were on watch just to have 2 years later another Senate take over and say we don't like this rule?
Right.
And they could do that because it's not in the Constitution.
Because it's the power of the minority party, right?
But regardless, what I'm saying is now that we've breached that rule, like there's no going back. I
agree with you. Totally agree with you.
So let's just get rid of it. Or let's put it in the Constitution. One or the other. I'm not going to follow some stupid rule as a U.S. Senator. I'm not going to follow a rule that's not in the Constitution because it's just going to be broken down the road.
Because the Senate's supposed to be by consent, but then they, like, for example, like the nuclear option got taken care of a couple of years ago. And then when they had the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, it was majority, right? So they've already, like you said, it's like it's willy-nilly.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if we're going to pick and choose when we want to, honor the filibuster rule, then let's forget about it. Let's either put it in the U.S. Constitution and make it a permanent part of government going forward, or just get rid of it. And I'm like, let's just get rid of it. If there's a movement to put it in the Constitution, I'll support it. But other than that, I don't really believe in this rule anymore. The U.S. House doesn't have this this requirement upon it, and I don't think the Senate should either.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing, and just to support what you're saying, Tom, is that it's not used consistently anymore. It's willy-nilly, so why just have it at the whim of whoever's in charge?
Because we are sacrificing our 2 years in charge with the president, with the Democrats in control of the House and the Senate. And if we honor this rule just to watch it broken 2 years later, then we were really the suckers by honoring a rule that's not in the Constitution.
And a lot of times that's what I always feel about the Democratic Party. We're not tough enough. Like the Republicans,
I'm tough.
Credit you. I agree with you. That's why you're saying these things. But I'm saying that, like when the Republicans are in charge, they're like, F off. We're in charge. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Lump it.
There's a vacancy and the president's appointing a person? No, we're just not going to do
Lindsey Graham?
I know
what I said 6 years ago. Yeah. Don't elect me.
I feel differently now.
Right. I mean,
that's the thing, right?
Credit to them for having balls and doing it.
Well, I tell you what, if I get elected in there, I'm not going to honor that rule. I'm going to vote to get rid of that rule. And, unless there's a movement afoot to put it in the U.S. Constitution, then I'll support it.
Well, thank you to John and Earlham College for giving Tom the platform
to talk about that. That's the first time, by the way, John asked me a question in public, which I already knew how I felt about that issue, and it's the first time in public I actually stated my position on the filibuster.
We're going to upload that video soon enough.
It was a kid that was literally, let's just say, 20-year-old kid
from China.
That asked me the question, and it was one of the best questions I've been asked so far, and that was at Earlham College, which is great.
The interesting thing about that kind of that meeting or that summit was it was about climate change, and you did a lot on climate, which I thought was great. That was the first time I'd heard you really talk for that long.
I did
about climate,
25.
Probably 25 minutes. Yeah,
right.
it was great, and the kids, the students, I should say, really smart, really on top of things, and a very nice campus, a beautiful room.
Long day for us.
Yeah, it was.
You did a post on climate change recently too.
Yep,
the rain.
Oh yeah.
And I saw a lot of comments where a lot of climate change deniers.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Weird.
Well, whatever. I mean, they're out there, right?
They're out there.
They tell me that basically I'm a dumbass and I'm a Democrat. And then I say, well, I really, after I defriend one of them, because I'm like, go screw yourself.
Right.
You're not my friend. I don't even know this dude. He's talking shit about me. I'm like, okay, defriend.
Let me keep you as a friend.
No, and then another guy was like questioning me whether it was related to climate change or not, and he was professional about it. So I interacted with him, and I said, I think people like you are dangerous. I really do.
Whoa.
I did, and I was nice about it, and I did it in a nice way. Said, hey, we're just trying to keep the city dry right now, but I think people like you are a threat to,
Well, it's like you said, I think you said at Earlham, you said, I believe in science.
I believe in science and a number of things, and I know how I know I'm trained in the law, but even in the law, there's people like Kevin Smith that know far better than I do, and I respect that and understand that, right? And I certainly don't know anything about medicine. So when people that know what they're talking about in regards to diseases tell me things like wear a mask, get the vaccine, I'm like, okay, you're way smarter than me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it because you're smarter than me, and I believe you. And then when there's scientists that say the Earth is warming every year, it gets hotter and hotter, and the ice caps are melting, and our weather patterns are changing, I believe them because I see it with my own eyes, right? But there's like this segment of America nowadays that are like entitled and dumb. I hate to say it. Entitled and dumb. It's like, no, I know better than this scientist.
I read this online.
I went to Purdue Calumet, and I know far better than that PhD doctor that studied this for 30 years. Yeah. I read something on Facebook that contradicts it. And we just give these people a time of day, and that's what's wrong with our country right now. Is these people need to be told to shut the hell up because you don't know what you're talking about.
And I think, again, like, when you have your leaders, like when President Trump, when he was up there and saying, like, well, if they only would have swept the forest floor in California, that would have solved it. And you have leadership.
It has nothing to do with global warming.
Nothing.
Right?
And if you just when you have leaders saying that, I mean, as a country, we want to trust our leaders. I mean, there are people that say, oh, he's the president. He knows what he's talking about. He's my president. I love Donald Trump. So what he's saying, sweep the forest floor, it must be true.
That's exactly it. First off, a lot of those people hate California already, and they don't want to help California because they may live in other parts of the states, and they may be super Republican, and they don't want to help a Democratic state, right? But it's so ignorant. First off, sweep the forest. Like, get the hell out of here. If that's really what's going on. So I guess we swept the forest when I was a kid, right? Right. That's why we never had fires when I was a kid. Oh, I remember sweeping the forest, and we did it every weekend. It's like so lame and so stupid. Like, and then there's a segment of society that's gullible and just like goes like right along with it. I tell you, man, this country is in a bad spot right now, and that's one of the main reasons I'm running for U.S. Senate. Honestly, I feel like our country's falling apart, and you need common sense people that are willing to go in there and do common sense things to try to fix this country. That's what I'm trying to do.
Sense people, outside of your trip to Richmond to Earlham College, you had a really nice visit with a Democrat that's newly elected down in Carmel.
Yeah, city councilman in Carmel, Miles Nelson.
What a cool guy.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Had a great meeting with him. Also met with his sister, Jenny Williams Nelson.
Yep.
Yeah, Jenny, and she's a school board member in Carmel, and also the leader of an organization, Women for Change.
Yeah, founder, I think, yeah.
Women for Change, which is over 6,000 women in central Indiana, basically.
Very organized.
Yeah. Super impressive. It was a great meeting. That was a busy day.
Yeah, it was, and just interesting to hear about the politics in and around Indianapolis, in the suburban counties around Indianapolis. I mean, they really are changing.
Yeah.
And Miles, just a really smart dude and really impressive.
First elected Democrat in Carmel.
Yeah, for the city council.
And he's like opening doors for us, which is
great.
Which
is nice. It's good. It's really cool to see you go around the state, Tom, and be welcomed.
Yeah,
and be like, we're with you, man.
They're
we're
excited because we have. I mean, in their opinion, there's a legitimate candidate running for the spot.
Yeah, I think Miles is really excited. I mean, Jenny, in her organization, she can't really do anything about the race, but I think Miles was great and really, really helpful. So.
Hey, John.
Hey.
So we go to Earlham College and walk on campus, and one of the young people came up to us and said, listen to your podcast every time.
It was unbelievable, John.
How far is this away?
Richmond.
Like 250 miles.
Wow. And it's a young guy.
4.5 hours. Yeah. He's like, I listen every week to your podcast.
That's
and I'm
incredible.
Like,
and I should have got a photo with
I know.
Tom and him.
I was like, that is so cool to hear when you're like in a total different part of the state.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like this kid is from Richmond, basically.
He was from Richmond.
Nice
he was
man.
really
nice
Alex.
Young man.
Yeah,
Alex,
that's awesome. Really good dude.
Now that I think about it, one side of that business card should be a link to the podcast. It should be a link to your contact, link to the
Rick. Rick just did the other
Rick,
way.
card number 8.
Rick, I would like a separate card, Rick.
Or your shirt.
Rick
Put a QR code on your shirt.
Rick just grabbed a bottle of vodka.
I also went to South Bend. Don't forget about that one.
When?
Over the week.
For a campaign?
I didn't. That wasn't on my calendar. When did you go? Just sneak away?
What the hell is going on here, John? Like, I'm sitting there trying to impress the audience twice now. And Kevin is like questioning me.
No, I didn't know you went to South Bend.
I went to South Bend for a Notre Dame game. And
that is not.
I was stretching the truth, Kevin, and you're like cutting my legs off in front of the audience again.
Well, I just, you know what?
I mean,
want this to be
John, the campaign manager is not
supposed to. This is supposed to be an honest campaign.
Well,
we're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes.
I did visit South Bend. So.
All right. Well, if you went to the grotto and said a quick prayer, you're good.
Nope, I did. I went
because I know you're very surgical about
it. Was
your
the
Notre
most
Dame
surgical.
games.
It was the most surgical strike you could have at a Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
I took Marissa, Tommy, and Patrick.
Nice.
And we left the house at 4:30.
That's a 6:30 game.
And we walked in the stadium right as the game started.
Wow.
And we left as soon as the game was sealed. When
you say right when the game started, you mean like you missed the Irish Guard coming in?
I missed all that. Always. Okay. I haven't seen a flyover in years.
Oh, wow.
I walk in. I'm usually in the tunnel waiting in line when the flyover happens.
You're not watching the band come in, following the band in the stadium?
No. Either in the parking lot socializing or I'm surgical striking it like I did this weekend. But we literally I didn't have any time in the parking lot at all. Not 1 minute.
Just
I walked to the
in.
game, watched it, walked out of the game with like 3 minutes left and beat the crowd.
They were
out.
up by then.
Right.
It was a good win against USC.
That was
by
a
the way.
solid victory for the Irish. I'm wearing the Irish jersey for those of you that are not watching or they're listening.
Who's 11 these days?
I don't even know.
Think about that.
12 is Buckner.
Yeah, 12 is Buckner. By the way, I thought the most complete game by the Irish this year.
And a tough team. I don't care what their record is. USC is a tough team.
Well, it's always going to be a rivalry game,
right.
So.
Hey, I want to circle back to something real quick.
Yeah.
The results are in from the poll.
Yeah.
And if they're to be believed, 83% of our audience would follow us over to YouTube.
That's good news.
All right. So that means
17% would not. But the good news there is nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So, we're not.
But like, honestly, like,
isn't there a song
this is not going to happen overnight. This is going to be a process. If this is what we're going to do, the next season 5, is going to be about reminding people of the transfer.
We're going to nudge you over.
Right. We don't want to lose any audience.
We're going to nudge you.
But I think it's better for the long-term viability of the podcast if we're airing live on YouTube. And I think we expose ourselves to a wider audience.
Take that, Facebook.
Yeah, and by the way, who knows what's going on with Facebook? It seems like Facebook's got rocky road.
They got some troubles.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's hell.
Hey, did you guys? By the way, first off, so I'm talking about Notre Dame's complete game victory.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I've been a Bears fan for a long time.
Ooh.
That game,
not victory.
That was the most. That was the most incomplete game I've ever seen. It was literally the worst drubbing I've ever seen the Bears take. Was the other day.
Bad.
Yeah, you could have taken Tampa Bay minus 30 and still won or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I took that minus 7.
I know.
I was like, nah.
You took the Bears?
No, Tampa minus 7.
I'm so stupid. I bet on the Bears. I was having a good week, too, and I bet on the stupid Bears because I thought, honestly, they'd keep it close.
That was a revenge game in my book.
It was totally right because the Bears beat, with Mitch Trubisky, the Bears beat the Bucs last year.
The Super Bowl champs last year.
Right, and they did it with a quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, that we terrorized, and I'm not me.
I like him.
I liked him, too, but he was terrorized for basically 4 seasons before he finally left and went to the Bills, and he'll be a good quarterback. You watch. But Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback also.
But I'll tell you, that really hurt. I think just mentally that had to hurt this young guy. I mean, I love Justin Fields. I think he's going to be a good quarterback for the Bears, but you can't feed him to the wolves like that. In my opinion, why don't, as a rookie quarterback, let Dalton start and let Fields come in for select plays so he really works on his timing.
Sort of like Notre Dame's doing with their backup quarterback.
Exactly, with
Pine.
Buckner.
Well,
not Pine's out now, but with Buckner. You can tell they're grooming him.
Right.
They have to do that with Fields.
They got Cohen as the starter, and then they're bringing in Buckner in select situations to build him some confidence, basically.
Exactly, which they should do with Fields.
And by the way, Kelly is he really is a great coach. He's the all-time winningest coach at Notre Dame history. Including Lou Holtz,
including Newt
Rockne. Nagy, on the other hand, is a shitty coach. He really is, and I'm officially against him now. After watching what he did this week to Justin Fields, it was obvious in the first quarter Justin Fields was completely overmatched. And if anybody wanted to win, and Nagy didn't want to win this week.
He looked so... It was like, okay, we're just going to let you see how you go through this drubbing.
Right.
And see how you survive. He looked so dejected. Fields was sitting there. I felt bad for the guy.
I know. I don't understand why we're not trying to win. I like a franchise that tries to win every single game. Yeah. And they weren't trying to win this week. They were trying to build up, Justin Fields.
I don't know how they built. They did the opposite.
I agree with you. It was clear after the first 2 drives, this guy shouldn't be starting, and Dalton was just sitting there.
When they brought Nagy in from Kansas City, they said, "Oh, he's a quarterback guy. He's great at developing quarterbacks.
He's a shitty coach.
Look what he did to Trubisky. Now look what potentially he's going to do to Fields. If Fields,
look what he did to Dalton. Dalton came over here to be the starter, and Nagy fucked him. Right? So he's a really bad coach.
Well, and he had to give up play calling again. I heard, this goes back to last year. He's a bad play caller.
He's not a good coach. And this is his team, by the way, and they're soft, man. Well, he built this team, and they're soft.
So
this is his team. He has nobody else to blame.
I agree.
Yeah, this is your team.
And Pace,
coach.
too. That's the general manager, right?
They're literally one of the worst teams in the NFL. And he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL.
Well, I hope they can turn it around.
I hope so, too. I don't think they're as bad as they're playing. They're just playing like crap right now.
Only 3-4 right now.
It was the worst. But by the way, on the other hand, it was nice to see Tom Brady.
How about that? We got something to talk about with that. So Tom Brady, right? I think
only player in NFL history.
If he's not the GOAT, I don't know who is.
He is,
right?
Anybody that doesn't think that he's the greatest quarterback of all time is not being honest with themselves.
No. I mean, I love Joe Montana.
I love Joe Montana.
He's one of my favorite.
Joe Montana is my favorite quarterback of all time. But
they don't come close.
No, Brady's the GOAT.
So something interesting happened, and this came up. I was talking to Phil yesterday, so credit to Phil for bringing up this topic, and it's pretty interesting. So there's a touchdown between Tom Brady and Mike Evans, and it happens to be Tom Brady's 600th touchdown pass. First player in NFL history ever to have 600 touchdown passes. Mike Evans, celebrating, takes the ball and gives it to a fan. And then you just see them pan over to Mike Evans on the sideline, and his jaw drops. Like, oh, shit, I just gave the 600th ball to a fan.
Right.
And then you see Tom Brady's assistant, or maybe an assistant for Tampa Bay.
It was the Buccaneers.
Go over and kind of have this discussion with the fan, and he gets the ball. So the whole thing on Twitter and everything on sports TV and radio yesterday was like, he should have negotiated.
Seriously, the kid had like $1 million in his hand. What he didn't realize, it wasn't a football. That was a historic football that nobody in the world has.
Yep.
Like a football that scored the 600 touchdown. That's worth $1 million at least.
So let's talk about what he got out of it, and let's talk about what we would have done in that situation.
Right.
All right. So this is what he got out of it: 2 signed Brady jerseys and a helmet.
Worth a couple $100.
Signed Mike Evans jersey and game cleats.
Okay.
2 signed jerseys, Brady jerseys, are worth more and a helmet, but all right, fine. Couple thousand, let's say.
Okay,
all
couple thousand.
$1,000 credit at the Bucks team store.
3,000.
2 season tickets for the remainder of this season and next.
That's solid.
All right, that's
still
20 grand. You could sell them maybe.
Okay.
All right.
And a Bitcoin.
From
Tom
Brady's
Brady's giving him a Bitcoin, which is what, 35,000
right
now.
So there you go. I think Tom Brady felt bad for him.
Because he realizes the kid gets.
Do we have the clip, John?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the clip from Tom Brady talking to Peyton and Eli Manning yesterday during the game.
Yeah. Did you get the ball back?
Trying to get that. We got it back. So I got it back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Where
negotiation
is it?
in order to get the ball
Is it in
back.
Canton? Is the ball in Canton, or have you made it into an NFT? Talk about what the ball is.
It's shortly an NFT. You can autograph.io. You can go there to bid on it. There's a lot of great things, auction items, memorabilia. And there's my boy Tim negotiating with Byron, who gave to me. Byron realized he lost all of his leverage once he gave the ball away. He should have held it and then just get as much leverage as possible.
Amateur move. Yeah.
So,
and there's what he got. So, I just think to myself, and Phil, by the way, so Phil was like, I don't care. I would have held onto the ball or ran out with it, and I would have negotiated right there for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There's no way.
I don't think that happens.
I agree with you.
In the moment,
who's thinking about that in the moment? First, you have
as
peer
a fan,
the best thing the fan could have done is get the hell out of there. By the way,
if he was really thinking about that,
leave the game immediately. Because
all
the other fans would start threatening you and stuff.
Without a doubt.
You leave the game immediately if you realize I got his history, NFL history in my hand. I'm going home.
I'm leaving.
Right.
That was his mistake was staying.
Yes.
Not necessarily giving the ball
and
back.
And then having season tickets and all that. So he made a deal of worth, let's just say 20, 25 grand.
40 grand.
Okay. Let's just be super nice. And he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're saying the ball's valued at what, John? 600?
600,000.
The longer you hold it, the more it's worth. Who's going to put up 600 touchdowns anytime soon? Nobody.
Well, then the argument is, what about 602? What about 603?
True.
But I mean, at the end of the day, though, 600.
So if Tom Brady got hurt, that'd be really. By the way, did you guys see when Tom Brady went up to some fan and gave him a hat, little kid, that just
very emotional.
The kid broke down crying. It was the coolest video ever.
He had a sign that I think said, Tom Brady helped me through brain cancer.
Right.
And then Tom Brady went he was out of the game already. It was a blowout. Bears were getting their ass kicked. And Tom Brady walked over to him and gave him a signed hat or something, or I think he gave him a hat or a ball or something. So that was really, really cool.
And the kid broke down crying, which was so cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. Yeah. And by the way, what really pissed me off is while the game is happening, Brady's out there making fans' wishes come true.
It's even more insulting.
They're panning to the Bucks and they're laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears are
having a blast.
Pansy joke. Mm-hmm. They are just a joke of a team. They are. It was the worst drubbing I've ever seen. They should have fired Nagy. I made a joke yesterday. It was snarky, and I took it off. When Nagy got COVID, I was like, this is a positive for the Bears. That guy not being on the sidelines. And it was too snarky, so I took it down right off the bat. But, Matt Nagy is a bad coach, and he's put together a horrible football team. And I just feel bad for everybody that's risking their career going out there with that jersey on right now. They suck, man.
It's interesting, though. But, I thought when they played the Raiders, they looked good.
That's the thing. They got talent. Yeah. They just have horrible leadership.
I mean, look at Robinson. Anyway.
I agree.
We can go on and on for the Bears. I mean, it's interesting, by the way, about Tom Brady and the ball. I don't think in the moment, personally, I could have done anything but give the ball back. the fans were going to go against you.
Here's the results of the poll. Is Tom Brady the GOAT? Amazing. 30% of our audience says no. I want to know.
Who would that be?
Chat, put in who is the GOAT if it's not Brady. 30% of you. Someone
Jim
says,
McMahon.
I love Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
okay.
He's good.
He's great. He's great. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
He's got one Super Bowl.
Do you love him more now that he said, like, I own you to the Bears?
No, I don't.
No, I hate him.
That was crazy.
All right, let's do some ads.
All
so
right, we'll be
on.
back. We're going to be back with Mailbag. Get your lips ready, John.
Nice.
There's the title of the show.
Grizzolius Concrete. Grizzolius Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020 and 2021. Grizzolius Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, as they have been using the original cement finish in the California style since 1972, and also offer stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Grizzolius Concrete at 219-659-4127. By the way,
Yes.
I wanted to make an announcement about Bernie.
Go right ahead. You got me perfectly. I was just about to.
Bernie Grizziola is a
Grizzoli,
excuse me. He's a great Hammond firefighter. He's been with the Hammond Fire Department for 15 years-ish, right in that, I think that's the number, but right in that area. And he's been working diligently in the city of Hammond. He's a community leader. He's a great fireman. He's a leader, just a sweetheart. He's got a side business, obviously. But yesterday, with the announcement that Kevin Margraf, who's a great deputy chief in the Hammond Fire Department.
Unbelievable guy.
Yeah, he's a Marine. He's a leader in the community also. He's also my appointee to the Board of Public Works and Safety. He's just a great guy, but he announced his retirement from the Hammond Fire Department. I think it's November 4th and November 5th that he's retiring. And Bernie Grizzolia was promoted yesterday from battalion chief to assistant chief. And then when Kevin Margraf leaves on November 4th, Bernie's going to take over as deputy chief of the Hammond Firefighter.
And deputy chief is what in line? Is
number 2.
Number 2 in the
right
department.
behind the chief. And then Ryan Aguiano, who's an engineer right now in the Hammond Fire Department, a Hammond resident, was promoted to take Bernie's place as battalion chief, and he's taking over immediately. I think his first shift is today, possibly.
What's a battalion chief like versus an assistant chief? Versus
we have every night in Hammond, we have, the chief and the deputy chief are the top 2, but they go home. They're day workers.
They're administration.
Basically. I mean, they'll come out to scenes of the fires, don't get me wrong,
Sure.
but they work during the days like most normal city employees.
Available 24 hours.
They are available 24 hours. They always have their walkie-talkies turned on, right? And then when everybody goes home at night, the assistant chief in the fire department runs the entire city. So you have one assistant chief per shift. Okay, and they're in charge of the whole city.
When you say per shift, that's a 24-hour shift.
Right, it's a 24-hour shift. And then we have 2 battalion chiefs, which is North and South Battalion. So we have 3 chiefs in a complement of firefighters and paramedics working every night. And when we all go home at night, or actually during the entire shift, the assistant chief's in charge of the city as far as the fire is concerned. So
there's a chain of command in the Hammond Fire Department.
Yeah, so that's how.
Congrats, Bernie.
Yeah. Congratulations to Bernie. He's a great guy, and super happy for him. I know he was very touched. He was like getting choked up.
Good for Bernie.
It's a great honor for him.
That's awesome.
And well deserved.
And a good concrete man at that.
He's excellent at concrete, but he's a great firefighter also. So
Midwest Air Duct Cleaning. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is their #1 priority. They're dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Their technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. If you would like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko and his team at 219-671-8868. That's Midwest Air Duct Cleaning.
Calumet Brewery. Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, all while being one of the fastest growing brands in the region. Or you can try Ultra Pure Gold, an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag through calbrew.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
Still waiting for those beers to show up here. One of these days
they'll be here by the season finale.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
All right.
Thanks, Eli.
Thank you.
By the way, we have this next segment, and then I'm going to finish the show with the political prediction.
Tom's political prediction. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be very exciting.
I'm going to lay out my case, and I guarantee you, if you're interested in like
Indiana politics, you're going to like this.
Especially if you're from the region, the first congressional district. If you're in Indiana politics, if you like what's going on, I have a
bold prediction.
I'm going to make a prediction on here that I've only heard one person talking about, and that's me.
Don't give it away. We're going to tease this all the way through our next segment.
I had people help me along with this, and then when I look closer at the maps, I'm going to make a prediction about somebody running for Congress.
All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna wait.
I want you. I'm teasing.
Tom is the worst. He's a word.
No. I'm teasing it so we can get more viewers by then.
And if you like Indiana politics, if you like talking about maps, and you like talking about predictions, listen.
I guarantee you we're right on this. So come back in about 10 minutes, or
don't come back.
Let your friends know in about 10 minutes.
Tune out and then tune back in.
No, we got some good stuff coming before then. But let's do some mailbag.
All right, mailbag, John.
Mailbag.
All right, thank you, John. This is from Rose. Let's just leave it at that, right?
Rose.
It's about senior rebate checks.
Whoa.
Mayor Tom, thank you very, very much for the check, for the senior and disabled rebate check. It helps me with paying my property taxes. This is very kind of you. We are friends on Facebook. Hope you enjoy my gift of gab. I need to be careful because I've been in Facebook jail 3 times. Thanks to Trump's dumbass. Be safe.
Sounds like Tom's BFF.
Yeah. She's a
Thanks to Trump.
Spirit animal.
Dumbass.
Thank you, Rose.
Rose.
Very sweet. I love
spirit animal. Who said that? Did you say that, Tom?
Thanks to Trump's dumbass. All right.
Well, that was nice.
This is another one.
It's a positive.
This is I don't think this is too positive. This is a little factual about America and 2021. This is from Alice B. Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
this
she said she wrote you a little, but she wrote, I think the before that, what she wrote to you about my daughter's high school. You see that? My daughter's high school, which is 2 blocks from my house. I called her immediately to see if she was okay. When will this stop? And this is what. And then she put she gave like a screenshot. Okay. Of what happened. So this is Westside High School in Gary. Yeah. We're not trying to besmirch any high schools or any cities. This is just a factual of what's going on. Epidemic of stuff in 2021. So here we go. This is to Westside Leadership Family. Today at approximately 12:50, the Gary Police Department received a call stating that there was an active shooter at Westside Leadership Academy. Officers responded swiftly to provide support in response to the school. Realizing upon their arrival that there was no threat to the school and an abundance of caution, went into soft lockdown to find the possible location of the run to this call. No students were ever in danger, and the soft lockdown lasted for only 1 period. We take the security and safety of our students and staff very seriously. We also take erroneous threats seriously as well. Dude, this is the brutal grammar. Yes. Who the hell wrote this? This is a high school that wrote this? I don't know. Hopefully not the brutal. English teacher. I'm like trying to help, and I'm getting lost. So basically, I'm not going to continue reading it. Like, if I got that from my high school, I would be seriously pissed. Like, who is teaching my kid how to write? This is brutal, dude. Like, it was not from the English department. Let's just put it that way. Or hopefully it wasn't. If it was, that's not good. But anyway, I mean, like the issue here, and I've heard you talk about it because I've heard your frustration. It's happened in Hammond. It's happened in schools all around the country where you've got these kids calling in fake threats. It's like the 21st century version of pulling the fire alarm. Except for this. Except now, there's been shootings. It is the 21st, but when you pull the fire alarm back in the day, nobody could see it. Everyone just left. We didn't have closed circuit TV, right? Right. And everybody left, and we were like, right. And then they, realized there's no fire, and everybody went back in, right? Nowadays, we could find you, and we do every single time we find you. Like the kids go to juvie, and then usually they get expelled from school. In fact, I said something on WMCD about, I bet you the kid that disrupted the schools with a threat similar to this is already back in school. Superintendent Miller took exception with that and called me and said, I just wanted you to know we expelled that kid. That's awesome. That kid's not coming back. That should happen. Exactly. If I was the superintendent of schools and there was a kid that called in a threat saying he was going to shoot up the school, that kid would never, ever see that school again. You have to have a deterrent effect. Dude, I'd be like, bye. Go someplace else. Yeah. Go have your parents pay to send you to school. Go online. You're not going to school here. That's just the way it is. You're threatening, you're disrupting class. Absolutely. And saying that people are going to shoot up the school. It's not working. So so I know it's a frustrating thing, and Alice, thanks for that. Yeah, it is frustrating and scary, and just but we'll you got to find these kids one student at a time and get rid of them. Yep, get rid of the bad apples. Yeah. All right, so we talked about this last episode.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sad.
We learned a lot since last time.
Yeah, it did.
I think everybody's learned a lot about what happens on sets with guns.
John and I, our initial instinct, which at the time we were literally, it just had happened, right? Or it happened the night before and
Correct.
we came in the studio.
It was Thursday night or
we
Thursday.
We were talking about it, and we were amongst the first people talking about it. My initial instinct was, I think Alec Baldwin's done as an actor. I think John shared that opinion, right, John?
Yeah, I think we were just talking about, and we also talked about, well, let's see what happens. Is it reckless? Who's responsible? And it's come out, right? I think that Alec Baldwin
was just a finger.
And totally a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, he trusts, the armorer in this case. When they hand him a gun and says it's a clean gun, he trusts that it was a clean gun and did his job, which is firing a gun at the camera, which is what he's supposed to do. Unfortunately, there was not it was a live gun. And
Isn't that incredible? John, didn't you find that incredible that there was a live gun
How
with
is there
live ammo?
A real bullet on the
they
set.
use real guns.
So I read something that said live ammunition is rarely, except in extreme circumstances, to be used on a set. That was the protocol.
You should just have a clean set with no live ammunition.
Why would you need it?
Like, I don't want one bullet anywhere near the set. But by the way, like, it's easy to clear a gun. Like,
these are like Old West pistols,
that's
right?
Even easier.
So I was looking at them. You have to work the blanks. The blanks look like bullets, but you can tell the difference, right? There's no slug in them, and they have like the end's different. So you're supposed to, like, what I was reading is the or the assistant director and the armorer, which is kind of a cool title, right? Are supposed to like catalog the rounds, and then they count them out with each other.
Right.
I'm loading in this blank. Is it a blank? Yes. Put it in. Is this a blank? Yes. Put it in.
And
that's what you're supposed
it
to do. And shake it.
Because it's got a sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got the BB sound. It doesn't sound like gunpowder. They shake it. They confirm with each other, which is great. Right?
They shake the bullet?
Yes, both of them. And they confirm to each other, which sounds like a great protocol. I mean, this, by the way, John, did you hear this? Where earlier in the day, a bunch of people walked off the set because they felt it was unsafe.
Yep.
The guy that said cold gun was not the armorer.
Right.
And he had a different incident. I don't know. Maybe it was within the last 10 years.
Right.
Same issue.
Right.
I mean, he is.
Are you talking about the assistant director?
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you guys hear he was also on the sequel to The Crow?
Brandon Lee.
That's what.
Right.
That's what Kevin was just saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And I heard some people on the set talk about this guy saying that he's always pushing.
Like a nepotism hire.
Yep.
Right. Related to somebody.
Wow.
So it's really unfortunate and sad.
So basically, the question is, has our thoughts about Alec Baldwin's culpability changed since we last met?
Without a doubt.
Me too. John?
Seems like it, but who knows?
He's a little quicker.
John's like equivocating.
That's the guy that made fun of Trump.
Yeah, well, I hate Alec Baldwin. I'm not a fan of him.
Well, I'm talking
Alec Baldwin.
I think he's insane.
But be a juror, John. Like you took the oath. Did you?
He's not criminally culpable at all.
Well,
we all agree on that. There was no intent. There was no intent, John.
It's still coming out.
John, you think he could be criminally culpable?
You think he intended? He knew that there was a bullet in there.
Oh my
he knew.
God, John.
Okay, that's crazy.
I didn't even say yes or no, and you guys are like,
don't know. Criminally culpable. I'm not saying like
criminally.
Did he?
You guys,
civilly...
it's not all in yet, man. Why are you laughing? I don't understand. Of all people, Kevin, the attorney, you would want all the evidence to be.
You have to have intent. That
I
means
do.
Alec Baldwin showed up that day saying, "I'm going to shoot this chick."
Right.
Or I'm gonna wound her.
Or even a reckless intent. I don't even think there was a reckless intent.
Like driving 150 miles an hour on the highway. Reckless.
So do you think anyone's going to be charged?
Yes.
If anybody, it should be that assistant director.
Right.
Because I think that was reckless conduct.
They have been charged. There's been people criminally charged before. For movie sets.
Yeah, and they went to jail.
There will
by
be
the
charges.
way.
I don't think it's going to be Alec Baldwin that gets charged.
I agree with that.
I think it's now when everybody starts getting sued for liability.
Civil liability is
but I don't even think Alec's going to be. I'm sure he has insurance anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
Him, right, but he's not. I don't think he's going to pay a penny.
A small percentage of fault. Maybe like you're only supposed to take the gun for their armorer.
Right.
Like kind of thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If there was any civil liability for Alec Baldwin's that.
Right.
Like you've been acting for 35 years.
He'll be covered by insurance.
Yeah, for sure. But it's terrible, obviously, for the family. She had a young son.
It's horrible.
So.
And then, like, the bullet went through her and hit the other guy too.
Yeah, Sousa's.
So it went through her chest and then hit the other guy in the arm.
The director,
and he was hurt, but like she had a hole in her.
God, can you imagine that moment?
Oh my God,
that second.
Dude.
Right. Think about Alec.
You just knew something went terribly wrong.
You know it's all on tape. We're going to see that
without
tape
a doubt.
eventually.
I hope not.
We will. Well, that'll become.
It'll get leaked.
Yeah, you're right. It'll get leaked, John.
Yeah, the whole thing is on tape. The whole thing. Because they were filming. Yeah. I bet you that movie's not completed.
Currently,
I was wondering about that. You think it'll come
suspended.
out, the movie?
No.
You think it'll be released?
No.
The Crow was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If anything,
Yeah,
the
it's
studio's thinking like, oh, this is going to be everyone's going to want to go see it now.
True.
Which is sick, but true.
so we're going to do some ads, and then we're coming back with the Mayor Tom's political prediction.
Yes,
I
this
think
is
this
going
is
to
the
be very
first.
exciting.
This is the first political prediction we made.
Mayor Tom's
This is straight up
political
prediction. Okay, straight up prediction.
All right.
I didn't hear this anywhere, and we're going to bring it out to you.
All of our listeners are
And I'm telling you,
on the edge of their
I'm telling
seat.
you, if you're watching on video, you're going to see maps that we put up to prove to you that the Republican supermajority messed with districts and included somebody.
For a reason.
For a reason. So
All right.
we're coming back with Mayor Tom political prediction, but we're going to do some ads
We need
first.
some music for that, John.
Yeah, right. That's a next season thing.
Let me work on it. Hold on.
That you know what that
Read
means.
your ads.
Read your ads. What is that? What you say when you're blowing us off? Let me
Read
work
your
on it.
ads.
Look at
Let
the
me think
screen.
about
Look
that.
at the
Is
screen.
Alec
I'm going
Baldwin,
for
is
some.
Alec
Let me think
Baldwin
about
guilty?
that.
Read your ads.
Yeah. Challenger Learning Center. Celebrate Halloween at Challenger's Fright Light Laser Spectacular on Saturday, October 30th. That's this Saturday. The Fright Night Laser Spectacular. Showtimes are 11 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. this Saturday. Tickets are only $12 and must be purchased in advance. Where would you get these types of things? Well, listen here. To learn more about Challenger Center and their upcoming events, visit clcnwi.com. That's clcnwi.com, or connect on social media at Challenger NWI on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and metal business cards you can count on. That's when you're supposed to slam the card.
Oh, here, hold on. Do that again.
Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and metal business cards you can count on.
That was great.
That was awesome.
All right, that's a new thing.
Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have two convenient locations in Munster and Hammond. Misprint Printing.
Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event, like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs from end to end. We have the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793. Thanks to our sponsors, especially our premier sponsor, all of our sponsors, and our premier sponsor, Powering America.
All right, I've got it.
We got what?
I got the song.
Okay.
Oh, all right. This is Mayor Tom's political predictions.
Haven't heard this, but it's royalty free. It's supposed to be a news alert sound.
Oh,
Okay,
here we go.
Lead it in again, Kevin.
Here we're back with Mayor Tom's political prediction.
Oh, shit.
Bam!
Let's go.
It's got the world. I think that's a Russian thing. No, there it is. Never mind. I thought I saw Russia.
You're listening
How
to
come the
Lock.
world is red?
Let me intro this. You're listening to LOCPOD with Mayor Tom and Kevin Smith. This is Mayor Tom's political prediction.
Hit it.
Hello, everybody. This is Mayor Tom.
John, that
Thank
was
you for
awesome,
tuning
by
in
the
to
way.
LOCPOD for our political prediction. Okay. The audience did go up. I appreciate it.
That's
So we built it up.
fantastic.
It was
That is
all
what you
because
call
of
a
that.
tease.
All right, here we go. You know, in United States of America, we got done with the census this year. And as a result of the
Last
census,
year.
when the numbers come out, each state has to redraw their boundaries. For Indiana, and all states have to do their House districts in the state, their Senate districts in the state, even city council districts in cities and towns in the districts, but also congressional districts, right? Like, that's the weird thing that people don't realize. Congressional districts are drawn in Indianapolis, in our case, or in Sacramento, or in Albany, or whatever state you live in.
By the state legislature.
By the state legislature.
At least that's how Indiana does it. By the state legislature.
I'm pretty sure that's consistent. But anyway, let's say, so in Indiana, the Indiana legislature draws the congressional maps. And the U.S. congressmen, they have no really say other than political persuasion, basically.
Right. I mean, like, we know Todd Rokita was drawn out by his own party.
That's how much of an asshole he is. It's true, by the way. Who does that to their own congressman? But anyway, that was a whole separate story. So anyway, he was so nice to me when I met with him too, by the way.
Well,
whatever.
Anyway,
you changed your feelings on him a little
no,
bit?
I did not.
He's really nice
I don't think
you.
I should call him an asshole, but I just did again.
He was nice.
Well,
he was nice.
Everyone's getting. I mean, what's
How
he going
about
to do
this?
in that situation? What's he going to do?
He was nice considering I called him an asshole. How about
There
that?
you go.
There
Fair
you go.
enough.
All right, there you go.
Ass hat.
Ass hat. It
That
was
or
ass
maybe
hat.
he doesn't
Thank you.
listen. So
Probably not. Maybe a combination. So anyway, in Indiana here, one of the rumors going around was the Republican supermajority was going to mess with Congressman Mervan. And I take an interest in this, as everybody knows, I ran for this seat last year. I know the district very well.
it's called the 1st District.
1st Congressional District where we live. And we were told that there was a thought in the Republican supermajority that Congressman Frank would struggle in rural areas. So the thought was they were going to expand his district south into a very rural part of Indiana.
And let's just talk about this district real quick. I mean, it is a Democratic stronghold. It's probably one of the safest Democratic districts in the country.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a Democratic.
Currently, it's basically unwinnable for a Republican. No, I don't know, maybe plus 10.
You'd have to have. Sure, now it's plus 10. It probably in the past was probably plus 25.
Okay.
All right.
So when the new maps come out, the Republican supermajority didn't change the district that much. They literally only changed, like, let's say, not even 5% of it.
But let's take a look at the map to show that.
Okay.
Is this the right one?
Start with the green one first.
This is the current.
Okay, now if you look on the screen, and for those of you, I'm going to try to describe what we're here. Like, we have 2 counties, like in Porter County, that are included in the 1st Congressional District, and then LaPorte County, part of it was included. Like Michigan City was included in it, and this is the district I ran in.
Which is a Democratic city.
Right, and LaPorte, which is the city we're going to talk about during this prediction, okay? The city of LaPorte was completely out of the 1st District and in the 2nd Congressional District.
And just to orient you as to where we are in Indiana, this is the far northwest corner. Lake Michigan is on the north of this district. Chicago is directly to the west of it.
So now I want to just show you with the green map, and then we're going to go to the next map. But notice how it juts out a little bit. It's like a distinguishing characteristic of the 1st Congressional
District. The far
District.
northeast corner of the district.
Okay, so go to the next map, John, just to confirm we're all on the same page. The map is the same. Okay?
Which one's that?
The one with the red. It's the next one in line.
Yeah, the one you had
The
up
purple.
first on.
Yeah, that
there you
one.
go.
Okay.
It's the same district, right? That's a current. That was the House district from 2011 to 2021. We all agree. The purple one is the same exact district that we were talking about, right?
Right. That shows the little cutout. You could see all of Lake County, all of Porter County, and the western slice of LaPorte County, including Michigan City, which is where they jutted it out.
All the way down to the Kankakee River.
Yep.
So the district changed, and that's why I got suspicious. Is like they made a change, and what they did. Now, John, go down to the 3rd map to see the change, and we'll explain what happened here. I put 2 boxes around the area that changed. So what they did was they took a big part of LaPorte County out and shifted the boundary over to Porter County, basically, so that they could grab the city of LaPorte and put it in the 1st Congressional District.
Yeah, so what they did is they made the cutout in the far northeast part of the district kind of like bigger and fatter, and they took out the western edge of LaPorte County to the south.
Things aren't done happenstance. When they change maps like this.
This is what I like about you. I
don't believe in coincidence.
If I've heard you say that once over the last 18 years, I've heard you say it 1,000 times.
When it comes to politics, I don't believe in coincidence. They're not being nice. They're not being like, LaPorte County is part of the region, so we wanted to include it. That's bullcrap. Okay, they will say that. All right, but there's a reason they did this because they 10 years ago and before that, they screwed us with the same exact maneuver. So now LaPorte County is suddenly back in the region.
And by the way,
back in the 1st Congressional District.
Correct. And a little history here. The 2nd District, which is South Bend in that area, Jackie Walorski, a Republican. They used to be Joe Donnelly's district. It used to flip-flop, and they made it very secure Republican now.
So they had to be careful with her. But the Republican supermajority in Indiana wanted to include the city of LaPorte in the 1st Congressional District.
Why, Mayor Tom?
Why would they do such a thing? Well, let's talk about somebody I know that lives in LaPorte. Okay?
All right.
I know her because she was the former mayor of LaPorte. Her name is Blair Milo.
And you're friendly with mayors.
I know the mayors very well, and I know Blair very well. Okay? Now, Blair Milo was a superstar mayor. She was. All right? She was a junior mayor to me. Her and Pete Buttigieg got elected at the same time, and I know the two of them were friendly with each other, even though they're from different parties. But Blair's a former Navy officer, so her and I had an affinity for each other in that regard. She's very, very smart, very, very energetic.
Unseated a Democrat, I think, didn't she? Before,
yes.
Wow.
Yes. Kathy Kroback. Right.
Wow.
Right. So, and then not only that, Blair is like very pretty and very smart and very fit. She always runs. She ran.
Just did an Ironman.
She just did an Ironman.
Just did an Ironman.
So like,
if you think you're a triathlete,
dude, Blair's a badass, dude. I'm not bullshitting. Like always, like right off the bat, it's not very often you meet a one-term mayor and you're like, dude, that's the real deal mayor right there, right? I met her and I'm like, this lady's going to be very successful. You could just tell she's running for something, right? And John, is that up on the screen right now? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. This is her in her Navy uniform. Blair is a naval officer. She was ROTC in Purdue. She spent 5.5 years in the U.S. Navy, served on board the USS Mason. She worked at the Pentagon, the Office of Naval Intelligence. As Kevin mentioned, she was the mayor of LaPorte. She got reelected.
and then she resigned to take a new position that Governor Holcomb created for her, basically.
Which was the director of Center for Talent and Opportunity.
There you go.
She was basically part of Governor Holcomb's cabinet. So she quits. I'm trying to remember.
I want to say like 2 months ago.
No. I'm talking about when she quit as mayor of LaPorte.
Oh, yeah. I want to say 3 years ago, maybe.
It says August 2017.
Okay, there you go. So 4 years ago.
So she is elected in 2015, and in 2017, halfway through her term, she quits and is appointed by Governor Holcomb as basically the director of the Center for Talent and Opportunity. She serves there for a number of years. Okay, obviously super tight with Holcomb, right? Quits recently and takes another job. Do you have that one? Where is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Former LaPorte Mayor Blair Milo will leave state post to launch Center for Focusing on Women and Minorities. So she takes on a new job in the private sector, quits the governor's cabinet. But let's make no mistake, she's super tight with the governor. Okay. Now suddenly Blair is
is seen as a up and coming star, if not already a star in the Republican Party.
By the way, where does Blair live?
LaPorte.
So, and then not only that, honestly. She just got done keynoting a big thing in Porter County for influential women, and just recently announced another event where she's a headline speaker at the Society of Innovators for Purdue Northwest. Or pictures in the paper over the weekend.
Here's what I would say: she was the director of Center for Talent and Opportunity. You'd hear about her here and there. Over the past 3 months, since she's left that post, or a couple months, I've heard about her like 6 times,
especially in the 1st congressional district.
So I think your head scratch. I did not think about that. You were all over that.
I know her, and have
ambitious.
She's extremely ambitious, and she's extremely capable, and she's extremely smart, and she's extremely driven, and she's By the way, she doesn't want to be. She wants to move up the ladder. There's no doubt in my mind she thinks she can win the 1st congressional district. Let's take a step back. You and I know the district well.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, for the congressman, if I would have been in Congress, and obviously Frank, the current congressman, he could always bank on doing fairly well in Lake County, which
should do very well.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Should do very well.
Although Lake County does have a Republican area, basically south of 30, it's Republican, right? It's the 2nd largest Republican part of the state of Indiana.
Because there's so many people here.
Okay.
Not because it's a Republican. Yeah.
Porter County, LaPorte County. Mm-hmm. So, Republican?
Porter County, I would almost flip a coin, right? I would say lean Republican.
Frank didn't do well in Porter County.
Right, during the last time. But
during the last time.
He's made some inroads, and
I agree.
We'll have a lot more support, right?
I agree, but you're thinking, put yourself in their shoes right now.
Yeah. Oh, they're thinking if we got a shot.
If anybody's got a shot, they got to be from either Porter County or LaPorte County.
And we need to take a shot at Frank before, he's been in office for 10, 15, 20 years, right?
So I imagine Blair does very well in LaPorte County.
Well, sure, she's from there.
If she runs, she does very well in LaPorte County. She's campaigning currently in Porter County, and I imagine she's very well known. Let's be honest, right? She's from LaPorte County. She's known well in Porter County, right?
Sure.
And I tell you, man.
I think Frank wins it. I just think it's a tough race.
I think it's a tough race.
Yeah.
And of course, I think that the congressman will pull it out.
Yeah. But
okay?
I mean, what I would say is Republicans are making.
It could be like a 52-48. A 51-49, obviously everybody would have to be pushing in the same direction to get the congressman reelected. She is the real freaking deal, man. And my prediction is, I'm going to go on the record and say it right now. I haven't heard anybody else say this publicly. I think Blair Milo is running for U.S. Congress in 2022 against Frank Mervan. That's my prediction.
Here's what
I think that the Republican supermajority districted her in on purpose. They gerrymandered her into the district because they know that she's running. Governor Holcomb knows, and Governor Holcomb made it clear to the people drawing the maps that Blair Milo is going to be running. I want her included in the first, and she's doing it right now. And she's not announcing yet, but I'm announcing it for her. I think she's running.
I think the interesting thing will be is that's going to be hopefully, and we all hope and believe that you're going to win the primary in May. That's going to be on the ballot at the same time you're running statewide.
Right.
And I think that's why it's important to have somebody strong at the top of the ticket. If you're lucky enough to be the nominee, you're going to be at the top of the ticket. You're going to be pushing to get Democrats out and hopefully secure this district.
And I'm not trying to like, I already told the congressman my thoughts. And I know the congressman was like all ears when I was talking to him. And I showed him the maps and I did the exercise I just did on LOCPOD. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think that LaPorte was included in that district on purpose, because I don't believe in coincidences. And I think that they intentionally put her in the district so that she could run. And she quit the governor's cabinet recently, took a job in the private sector. You can't run for office if you're in the governor's cabinet. You could if you're in the private sector. I think all signs point to Blair Milo is running for Congress.
And I think you're right. And I didn't even think about it till you brought it up and showed me ABC, A through Z, Y. And I think you're absolutely right, Tom. And I think one of the things that could come of this, hopefully, is it galvanizes the electorate and gets people out to vote, which could help your campaign as well.
I like Blair a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm voting for Frank Mervan.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like Blair and I respect her. And that's why I called the congressman and said, dude, I said, Frank, she's the real deal. Because he was like, tell me what you think. I'm like, she's a superstar.
Yeah.
She is. She's in every way you can imagine. She's a superstar. She's smart. She's nice. She's motivated.
Without a doubt.
She's ambitious. She's politically savvy. She's connected. Like everything you could say about Blair. She's a veteran. Like everything you could say. She's a perfect candidate.
I think it's the Republicans they're saying, if we got a shot, this is our shot. So
that's
let's
exactly
take it.
If we got a shot in the first congressional district, it's somebody like Blair. That's the only chance they have.
Let's gerrymander her in and see what happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think I did it on purpose.
I think Frank wins. But this has been Tom's political prediction on LOCPOD.
You got to save that one, John. That's
for
perfect. Sure. Dude, what do you think, John? I'm being bold by saying that publicly.
I just have to say, hit me up, Milo.
Hit me up, Milo.
Hit me up if you run.
Do you really think? I mean, honestly, I'm trying to persuade. Do you think I was persuasive? The little presentation we just did.
Absolutely, 100%.
They didn't do that on accident, right? They changed the district like that. And the thing is, initially when it came out, there was a lot of people that were like thanking the Republican supermajority for not jacking with that district. I'm not going to get into specifics, but they're like, thank you for not jacking with it. And in reality, they did jack with it. It was just a little change, and they included a little neighborhood that wasn't included before. Coincidentally, this person is now suddenly from that neighborhood is now suddenly actively campaigning.
She lives there for
Right, that's a big one right there. Big sign. Yeah. Anyway,
all right. Well, there it is.
What a show.
Mayor Tom's political prediction. And by the way, if Blair Milo ever wanted to be on the show, I don't know if she'd want to now because I think we just unveiled possibly a plan. I mean, we'd be completely open-minded to having her.
Drats. My plan has been
by LOCPOD. What's a LOCPOD? It's a bad disease. It's a
you don't want to
irritation.
Know. Don't listen.
You need a balm to soothe it. So
all right. Well,
that's all I got, dude.
I got to get to court.
Do you?
Yeah.
What time is it? 8:32.
Yeah.
Right.
8:45.
Right.
I got to roll.
Thanks everybody for listening to LOCPOD. We'll be back on Friday with a full complement, including the notorious LMP. I think next Tuesday, Jill will be back in studio, which is nice.
So to hear about her trip to Scotland.
Yeah. So anyway, Kevin, great job, and thanks for all the help.
This is our outro.
Thank you for listening to LOCPOD.
That's our outro. Thanks for listening to LOCPOD. Everybody see you on Friday with a full complement.